these scripts come out that are something that's able to kind of like, not really illegally, but really like annoyingly overload their sites. They get passed out to everybody. Half the people have no idea how the fuck to use them. Those people who have no idea how the fuck to use them usually would, they would prank call Scientology and fucking piss them off and do all sorts of stupid shit. They got pizzas ordered to them, a bunch of like real juvenile, but incredibly fucking funny stuff because it all got fucking recorded and put on YouTube and made everyone laugh and be happy. Except for Scientology, and they continue to frown forever. They're calling again. Damn, why don't you fucking take this? So, anyway, we used an interesting system of collaborating this. Basically, if one jerk had an idea, he would kind of yell it out on one random message board. Then everybody would step on him and kill him. But every once in a while, it was good. Hold on. Yes. Talk to who? Okay. I'm talking to a chairman. I don't know who Dex Spink is. Here, you talk to him.
I don't know what to say to him.
Well, fucking make something up. I would love to know who the fuck's phone that is and why I keep answering it, and now I'm, not talking about Scientology to do that. Anyway, so, for the fucking millionth time, we bugged them, and I remember just around this time we started collaborating a lot on the IRC. We started collaborating around a lot on the message boards, and like I was about to say before the fucking phone rang for the 50th time, that we used to use this method of somebody would have a good idea, or somebody would have a bad idea. They would either get praised for it or not, because if it was on a message board, you had no idea who the fuck said it, and we would kind of run with it, and that was a lot of how this whole thing started. A lot of how the dates got named. Someone just named a fucking random date. How the times got made. Someone made a random fucking time. And it was on January 18th where we first decided to be like, all right, this is our wave of psychoticness. We fucking called them all day. You couldn't get through to Dianetics hotline at all. A fucking 800 number. You could not get through. It was completely fucking busy, right? There was black faxes going out to them, like, just pretty much all black pieces of paper, right? We would send it. I remember this. There was this one person I knew who would take the paper and would circle it, right? They would they would put the black piece of construction paper through and tape it to the end. Like to the front end, so it would just keep fucking sending the fax over and over and over again, right? Or some of them,
Juvenile and ordering pizzas.
Huh?
How is that less juvenile than ordering pizzas?
Oh, it's
Pizza's
totally
delicious.
It's totally just as juvenile, but funny and juvenile sometimes go hand in hand. So, in any case, they got kind of bombarded with that for a little while. I remember the 18th, you couldn't get onto any of their sites because they were overloaded.
Yeah, we had people on IRC DDoSing their websites, which is also pretty juvenile. Probably more juvenile just because you can consider them script kiddies and whatnot. But yeah, one of the main purposes of the IRC network that we had going was stop poking me, asshole. One of the main purposes of the IRC network originally was actually to DDoS all their websites. And they actually had a few websites. They had the Dianetics website, they had their little recruiting website, and then they also had their main website. And I think we had their website down for like a record of almost 2 weeks.
Does that mean you were involved in the DDoSing?
Maybe.
Well, I mean, there was the most, I think it was down in a row, was probably like 3 days at a time. But the thing, it would pop up, and as soon as it would pop up, everybody would kind of scream, get it down. But I think, well, what happened was on the 18th, everything was down, right? The lines were completely clogged. The faxes, they shut them off for about 2 weeks. Then, everything was kind of dying down. I remember right around, 19th, 20th, everyone's kind of petering out. You see participation decreasing and stuff like that. And a decision was made, I guess, to have a second wave. I actually wrote that copy pasta for second wave, and I had sent it out, and I wanted to focus more on some press involvement too, so I kind of threw a lot of that in there, and I mean, nobody really at the time had any idea who I was or what the fuck I was doing, but basically, like I said before, if you write something up, you put it on the board, or you put it where everybody's going to see it. If it's a good fucking idea, it's going to get adopted into it. So that's kind of what happened. there was another wave after that, of course, and another, and it just kept going on. And something interesting happened at that time, I think, on the IRCs. The people started to know each other. Because, you know, when it starts to go around for, you know, for a long enough time, and people are using aliases, they'll stick to one alias eventually. So, you know, you did have some people getting favored, you know, some ideas getting favored from some people, some ideas getting not favored from other people, you know. And I guess that's kind of how I got to be a part of what eventually would be a channel, one of the channels where all the kind of oppers and people who were a little bit more respected got into. And that was the major centralization in the beginning of Anonymous. Then actually on my birthday, on January 27th, Mark Bunker put out his video to pretty much tell us that this is not the way to beat Scientology. You guys got to calm the fuck down. You guys got to stop doing stuff that could, you know, potentially be considered illegal, you know, and you guys got to handle it that way. A lot of people thought that Mark Bunker was just going to become a target and everyone was going to, you know, go and maybe bomb his site and, you know, do whatever. But everybody kind of embraced Mark Bunker, and he actually was what led to the IRC exodus, as I like to call it. The oppers on the IRC network that we were all using, one of which, and a min of which is sitting right there, they actually kicked off everybody. All of the Anons who were using that server at the time were gone. And this was a couple of thousand people. And now we're thinking, well, how the fuck are we going to collaborate? How are we going to coordinate? This is really bad. Luckily, it only lasted 3 hours. Because while we were gone, during that exodus, we all pretty much decided that, hey, we have to relax with the illegal shit because, one, we can't do it anymore. And two, you know, Mark Bunker had a lot of points. Everybody agreed with it, you know. That was one of the ways that February 10th got planned. February 10th was when we decided to move it into real life. When we decided to, you know, stop being fat internet kids. And I was fat, but then after the 10th I got really skinny. And to stop being fat internet kids, kind of, you know, run into real life, go see the org in person, you know, tell them what we think, fucking hand out flyers, say weird shit to them, right? And I'll always remember the morning of the 10th because I'm wondering what these other people are going to be like. These people who, for so long, if I said even the slightest thing that they disapproved with, would jump right the fuck down my throat and be incredibly, incredibly mean. And, you know, when I met up with them, first of all, the turnout was fucking huge. Nobody thought it was going to be. It was, just in New York City alone, it was around 300-something people, you know. We had planned February 10th in every fucking major city worldwide, you know. So just to be just in New York, we're getting fucking over 300 people. I'm just standing around like, wow, this is fucking massive. I had no idea, you know. And so I get there and the people are just fucking cool. They were funny as fuck. Nobody could get a single phrase out without some other asshole saying something completely ridiculous. Like everything was just a complete joke, and I'm like, wow. Everybody is like, everyone was the bad kid in class. You know, like if this is class, everyone's just the bad kid in class. There's no fucking teacher, and we're just going crazy. You know, there was the code of ethics everybody knew. You know, fucking relax, don't fucking step out into the street if the cops say not to. Don't punch anybody in the fucking face. Other than that, you know, we were chanting dick hair sometimes, like, you know, whatever. I started the dick hair one, but fucking, you know, I just thought it was fucking great. And luckily, right before the 10th, we already had the Ides of March already planned, which was the 15th. You know, I actually seem to be a firm believer in, hey, if you're going to go and jump into something and make it be like the first thing, you should always have that backup thing there so that, you know, if it does become a success, you could pretty much be like, hey, all right, let's do this again then. You know, then you'll have the same turnout. So we did. And I guess the whole point of this was for me to tell you how and why Scientology got my name and such. Well, during those first two raids, those first two protests, they could see that I was, you know, acting as a liaison with the NYCLU. You know, I was kind of running around in the front trying to, you know, help organize stuff and whatever. And they obviously saw that. My very flimsy Groucho Marx disguise didn't do a fucking thing. Yeah, well, I'm almost done, so blah, blah, blah. Fucking...